years and my life is still trying to get up that great big hill of hope for a destination. I realized quickly when I knew I should that the world was made up of this brotherhood of man, for whatever that means. Into a crisis times when I'm lying in bed just to get it all out what's in my head. And I am feeling a little peculiar. Into a wake in the morning and I step outside and I take a deep breath and I get real high and I scream from the top of my lungs, what's going on? And I say, trying to get up that great big hill of hope for a destination.
That might do it. Yeah, okay, I think I fixed it. For some reason, it was not selected on Streamlabs. I don't know what the problem was. Everybody hear me now? Yes? No? Maybe so? Seems to be working now. I got it. Okay, so I apologize for the confusion there. My microphone was not working. I did not prep for this eventuality. Yes, for some reason, Streamlabs, even though my microphone is plugged in and all is, turned on, for some reason, Streamlabs unselected my microphone. I apologize for the delay, and we shall continue the stream as originally planned. So yes, hello everybody. Welcome to Larsen Live. It is February 1st, 2025. Pony Throat started us off with some AIDS jokes, and that is exactly what I was intending. The song we opened up with was What's Up by 4 Non-Blondes, a song that I didn't even know the title of until about 10 minutes ago. I was under the impression that the song was titled Fabulous Secret Powers, and it was sung by Prince Adam of Eternia. It ties directly into the title of the stream, as well as the news today. For you see, John Erwin, the voice of He-Man, is dead. The United States is also funding butt sex in Botswana, and it's just this whole intersection of Masters of the Universe and state-funded homosexuality. But that's a trick question because He-Man is incredibly gay. There's no intersection between He-Man and homosexuality. It's just there's no Venn diagram there. It's just a circle. My famous spiced bread takes time, cringer. Anyway, I digress. So yeah, let's just get right to the news. So, the Trump administration is, of course, in the middle of its first month, and there's certainly things I dislike about it, but, at the very least, he's talking about some things I like the food sucks, and there's way too many illegal immigrants, and the United States is spending a lot of money on stupid things that don't really benefit the American people. I mean, I was not entirely aware that the United States literally keeps essentially half of the global South alive. I mean, I knew they did with, Norman Borlaug's, third agricultural revolution, the, high-yield cereal grains. However, what I was unaware of was the fact that George W. Bush set up the PEPFAR program, which is basically a program of providing antiviral AIDS medication, PrEP, to many countries around the world. It's a joke amongst the right-wing sphere that the United States literally spends money on funding butt sex in Botswana, but we are, in fact, literally funding butt sex in Botswana. PEPFAR provides life-saving HIV antivirals to millions of people. It has been documented that at least 25 million lives have been saved by PrEP. I mean, that's all well and good, but I don't see why we couldn't, help the people in those countries to set up their own viral production plants. That way we don't have to foot the bill for these people. Ponythroat says, 2007 Internet, my beloved. Yes, we all love the fabulous secret powers. Yeah, we're going to talk plenty more about He-Man and the Masters of the Universe towards the end of the stream, since John Erwin is sadly no longer with us. We'll get to that in a bit. But speaking of He-Man, let's continue talking about AIDS. Yeah, I don't know why African countries couldn't produce their own antivirals. I mean, they certainly have the resources for it. You also could have, I don't know, maybe distribute condoms. Or at the very least, maybe, don't have butt sex as much. Now, I take that back. Sex is good, sex is grand, sex is wonderful. I certainly will not shame anybody from having the sexual intercourse. But, however, I think providing condoms would be much cheaper than providing AIDS antivirals to the world. it's like teen pregnancy. Not to talk about the wonderful, wonderful school district that I work in, which, we'll get to the schools in a little bit. I've had at least one student in my classrooms be confirmed to have a child. There's nothing wrong with sex, but for the love of God, use condoms. It's not that expensive and it's not that hard. Fun fact, the president of Kenya also chimed in. He said, why are you whining about America cutting off the PEPFAR program? Like, does the American taxpayer have a responsibility to you? Do you pay taxes in America? No, then shut up about it. I mean, on the one hand, I'm kind of torn on this. Like, obviously it's good to be charitable and help people. But on the other hand, shouldn't you help your own country first and then help other people? Seems like the sensible thing to do. But apparently that's not sensible to the ruling class. This, of course, ties into the Ordo Amoris thing, the Order of Loves that J.D. Vance is yakking about. And, of course, that's also assuming that the Republicans would actually want to use that money to benefit the American people, and I highly doubt they would. As long as the stock line goes up, all is well in the garden, as they say. Ponythroat says, well, if they produce their own antivirals, how would that transfer taxpayer money to American drug companies? Yes. That is the conundrum here. How can we get the hardworking American taxpayer to pay American drug companies to, prep up in other countries? So let's get some numbers on this. Every year, the American State Department distributes at least $7 billion US, billion with a B, through PEPFAR to fight HIV around the world. Yeah, since W launched it in 2003, it's kind of strange that a, born-again evangelical Christian would want to promote butt sex in Botswana. Anyway, it's been credited with saving upwards of 26 million lives. That's, good. But, I don't think that... I still say that we should help them develop their own antivirals instead of this, kind of soft colonialism that we do. Incidentally, the State Department also does things such as funding drag queen workshops in Ecuador. Why are we funding that? Hey, let's look at some comments. We don't have any comments. That's cool. So yes, when you step up, you gotta prep up. It would also help if, dry sex wasn't a thing in Africa. That's not good. For those of you unaware, dry sex is where you rub sand, dust, and other, gritty things into the woman's hoo-ha to dry it out, and apparently that makes it better. Now, personally, I like a well-lubricated bat cave, but apparently the gentlemen of Africa don't do so. Can we please stop punishing women's vages? It's not great. Okay. Ponythroat says, I've run out of HIV jokes. I should have came prepped. Yes, you need to prep more. Narahari Kamath says, some of the funds could be for laundering. Oh, undoubtedly. U.S. aid has had a lot of, corruption, certainly. I'm not doubting that for a second. But, mainly I find it funny that, all your life you've been told that America is this evil white supremacist country that ruins the third world, but, the second that we decide to close these programs, it's like, oh, no, we need American money because all the, poor brown people will die. Something's not adding up here. America is a evil, America spelled with 3 Ks because that's delightfully witty. It's an evil white supremacist country that wants to kill all black and brown people. But then it turns out we literally have kept literal billions of black and brown people alive through our own largesse. Robert Diaz says, Catching AIDS today is akin to smoking 3 packs a day and knowing you're going to get lung cancer. Yes. Shundo Kwan says, why do we do good things like create antivirals that save lives and simultaneously promote bad habits? Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know if you remember, but a while back people were worried about overpopulation. And then when people realized that most population growth today is coming from sub-Saharan Africa, that shut up real quick because you can't tell black people to use condoms or stop having sex so much because that would be racist. Okay. Traditional Chundo Kwan says, those of us who were around when people were dying en masse in horrible fashion, the HIV breakthroughs were good things. Yeah, I'm not saying we should, not fund antivirals. It's just, I don't know, it's like we go to these countries and we give them PrEP, but we also tell them to, just run wild and free, stick in your wiener and everything. Narahari Kamath says, I think this is a great move by Trump. He can consider which of the grants can be restarted and which can be stopped completely. He's curbing unnecessary spending. Yes, there is much unnecessary spending going on. Boy, there's many things I dislike about Trump, but I gotta say, the fact that he's causing these hysterical paroxysms, that's, I do enjoy that, I'm not going to lie. See what else we have here. Speaking of Big Daddy Trump. Okay. People are a bit upset that Donald Trump has begun deporting illegal immigrants. Colombia has gone on record saying they will not accept return flights. And also, Colombian prostitutes have basically said we're not going to have sex with any gringo tourists until Trump stops deporting us. Again, if you're going to a country just to sleep with hookers, you're probably not a great human being. First of all, you should support your local industries. Kidding, of course. Secondly, are these really the people you want to support you? Yeah, Claudia Sheinbaum, the new president of Mexico, who's wearing a flower lei for some reason. She condemns Donald Trump's attacks on immigrants. You cannot send, them back. Mexicans sustain the American economy in the countryside and services everywhere. I mean, personally, I find it pretty funny that, they say, illegal immigrants sustain your economy. And then it's like, okay, well, if we send them back, won't they sustain your economy? Oh, God, no. No, don't send them back. No. No. It must be that magic dirt. America is sustained by illegal immigrants, but those same illegal immigrants will not help their home countries one iota. I mean, it's the prime human capital, as Vivek Ramaswamy puts it. I would like to point out that at least 5% of Mexico's economy is just remittances from the United States. Other countries in Central and South America are even more so. At one point, I believe Guatemala's economy was almost 25% remittances. Again, I don't blame illegal immigrants for wanting to make more money. I blame the corporate heads who hire them to work for peanuts, and I hate the politicians who, get the, lower classes, rambunctious people who might rebel against them out of their country. It's a release valve for them and cheap slave labor for the corpos. But of course, nobody wants to address that. Let's check out some comments here. Traditional Chundo Kwan says, a lot of graft to be removed. Yes, there certainly is a lot of graft. Chundo Kwan says, yeah, right, Colombia. Narahari Kamath says, send the migrants back and import Colombian prostitutes. I mean, cartels bring plenty of prostitutes to America, but that's neither here nor there. Ponythroat says, when the going gets tough, women cut off access to the hole. Many such cases, all of them that never happened. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it is the ultimate bargaining chip. Hey, Robert Diaz says Mexico won't declare war on the cartels. The current president won't openly wipe them out. Yes, there was some strange happenings going on with the Mexican election. Weren't there like 30 candidates who got assassinated? I mean, I'm not accusing anybody of doing anything, but seems a bit suspicious. Chundo Kwan says criminals by definition are not immigrants. They forfeit that privilege under existing laws. Yes. And again, I have nothing against immigrants. It's just there's the sheer numbers and the fact that they're used to, weight, stamp down prices. That, that's the issue here. Oh no, we have to live amongst our own people. How terrible. Yeah, speaking of this whole issue, TikToks are going viral, showing Walmarts being almost empty. The chilling consequences of the ICE raids. People are afraid to step out of their house because of ICE. I hate to say it, but this is like the cleanest, quietest Walmart I've ever seen in my life. There's no screaming, dead-eyed brappies running up and down the aisles. It's just a nice, clean store. Oh no, there's horrors beyond our comprehension, like maybe the deodorant won't be locked up behind sliding plexiglass doors. I mean, joke's on them. I don't go to Walmart anyway unless I absolutely have to, but yeah, it's nice to see a grocery store. I mean, to the extent that Walmart is a grocery store, being clean and not completely terrible. Okay. Chundo Kwan says, Mexico is incapable of removing cartels. I mean, there has been some talk about, like, issuing letters of marque to go fight them. Which, I mean, at this point, why not try? I mean, nothing else seems to work. Pointthought says, won't somebody please think of the evil mega corporations? I know. How can we not think of the evil corporations? We're so damn insensitive. In person, I've always felt that the number of illegal immigrants in the country is grossly understated. And there's plenty of, contractors and other money-grubbing shit-asses who are complaining, oh no, my illegal slave labor is gone. What am I going to do? You could pay a citizen a decent wage. Speaking of, Costco is actually going to increase their wages to $30 an hour. So at least there's one corporation that, isn't completely terrible. Costco is a corporation run by families and not by the shareholders. I believe they've never had an IPO. And that's why the hot dogs are still $1. It's Costco and Arizona Iced Tea, the only American corporations that aren't completely evil. Narahari Kamath says, is Trump really going to take over Greenland? I heard that France has stationed troops there. I mean, that's something I don't agree with. I don't think we need any more territory. I mean, he might. He's talking about it. He's trying to buy it. I don't think anything's going to come of that. Robert Diaz says, why do people who ever try to get a green card say the system is broken? Well, I mean, the system is broken in there. They can't just waltz over and become a citizen. At least that's what I assume is the problem here. See what else we got going on. Just give me a second here. I'm going to open up some, stuff. I don't have a super huge amount of things to talk about today. Let's see what we got. Okay. Okay, so talking about the shitty school system, which may be vaguely related to the illegal immigrant thing, namely the fact that schools basically have to teach in 50 different languages, but I'm sure there's plenty of cough, native-born American citizens involved here. In 30 Illinois schools, where children have, on average, like $20,000 per pupil spent on them, in 30 of these schools, not a single student can read at grade level. 0. Places like Lovejoy Middle School and Lovejoy Elementary School, Urban Prep, Englewood, Urban Prep Bronzeville, Spry Academy, Delavon High School. 0 children can read at grade level. My God, what the hell are they doing in schools? No, I won't go into the demographics of these areas, but yeah, the schools are not good. I know I hammer on this a lot, but my God, the schools are crap. You know, if Trump wants to clean up this shit and like make it so we can like throw the brappies out of class, I'm all in favor of that. The question is, will Trump, as flawed as a man as he is, I think he does actually care to some extent about the American people, at least on some level. I mean, will that concern for the American people to some degree, will that be overcome by his, Republican Chamber of Commerce tendencies? We will have to see. I mean, my suggestions for fixing the schools to some extent. I've made a video on it. It starts with throwing the brappies out, throwing out shitty teachers, and you kind of take it from there. Now Hari Kamath says he's not taking it for the territory, he's taking it for making a gateway to the Arctic. I mean, we already have an Air Force base on Greenland. I don't see why we couldn't just keep that situation that we have. Sorry. Robert Diaz says Costco charges membership fees to afford wage increases. Having a membership program offsets a lot of costs. Yes. Robert Diaz says New York, Illinois, California all lead the nation in money spent per kid and get the worst results. Pointythroat says, I could read better than that at that age. I was never taught to read at all. Robert Diaz says, inner city schools need to fire half the teachers who keep passing dumb kids. Yeah, that's a big problem, that they keep passing dumbass kids who can't read. I mean, I hate to say it, but yeah, some people really are not capable of learning anything beyond the age of like 12, if that. So get them out of the schools. They're just, you're making them bored and miserable, and you're making the kids who want to learn bored and miserable. Get them to, like, I don't know, teach them a job or an apprenticeship, or have them clear Superfund sites or something. No, just kidding. The kids some kids are just dumb, but they mean well. Put them in an apprenticeship. The brappies, yeah, you could have them clean up Superfund sites with sponges in their bare hands. See, everything works. I mean, deep down in my cold black heart, I do care about the children, and I care about the state of the schools, and I care about the state of the country. It's not great. It's going to take a very long time to fix, and it. I mean, it took seconds to destroy. It's going to take years and years to fix. Yes, the teachers are the problems. Like, I mean, I would say more than anything, the kids are the problem. Like, screaming, dead-eyed, brap, retard kids are the main problem. But teachers who, coddle them and allow them to, walk all over them, that's also the problem. Okay, in archaeology news, changing topics here. To my horror, I've seen the most depressing thing I've ever seen in the field of archaeology. Ancient Sumerian spreadsheets were found. Cuneiform spreadsheets. It's a grain ledger. It's a spreadsheet depicting how much grain was bought and sold by, by Marduk and Gilgamesh or whatever. It's spreadsheets. Some of the oldest forms of writing known to man are spreadsheets. This depresses me like you cannot imagine. Before man was, Excel waited for him. The ultimate trade awaiting its ultimate practitioner. I think the spreadsheet might even... Wait, actually, it's not. I take that back. There is porn that's older than the spreadsheets. But the fact that spreadsheets go back that far really depresses me. Yeah, send Kidu. I'm going to need those TPS spreadsheets by sundown. Yeah, that'd be great. And I bet even back in ancient Sumeria, they were complaining about, clay, stupid clay jobs that are cushy and inside instead of having to work in the hot sun. Pointy Throat says, how much copper Nani purchased? As long as evil exists, the HR department lives. Yes, well said. There's, the bean counters will always be with us. Yeah, don't bother writing down epic stories and heroism and things that inspire people. Just write down how much grain was sold and bought. Write down how many copper nuggies were purchased. You will never escape the spreadsheets, Wagey. Okay, let's get to the celebrity and pop culture news. First of all, in news of people I've never heard of, female rapper Dank Demoss has filed a multi-million-dollar lawsuit against Lyft, just a week after Lyft apologized to her because a driver denied her service. She was too fat to fit in his car. I have never heard of this person. I mean, ostensibly, I would say she's a woman. She literally looks like the elephant's foot from Chernobyl, which is like, the melted down like reactor core with a face on it. Yeah, she hired a Lyft. The guy said, I cannot put you in my car, and she's filed a lawsuit. This woman is very fat. She has a gigantic front butt. I mean, I don't know, like, should Lyft specify, like, how much the person weighs? Like, am I going to need, like, a horse tractor, a horse trailer or something? Take the L, order the Uber XL. I know, like, I've said this before, but I'm officially an old man because I don't know who these people are. Like, who the hell is Dank Demoss? Like, I've never... Like, who is this person? I've never heard of this person, nor have I heard of that other, like, really fat dude rapper. Like, I've officially just... I think I'm embracing my old manhood. Like, I don't know who these people are, and nor do I care. This woman needs a forklift is what she needs. Yeah, forklift, Lyft. Okay. Nara Harikamath makes that exact joke. Should have mentioned fork before hiring a lift. And Ponythorn also makes that same joke. Apparently the guy was driving a Toyota Camry. I mean, I've used to own a Toyota Camry. They're very small. She did it for the press. She knew that in no way the seatbelts would work. Boy, the people sure are fat nowadays. And, say what you will about Robert F. Kennedy, but he's one of the few people talking about how shitty the food is, and that is something good. I hope they do fix the food. But seriously, who is this person? I've never heard of this person. Like, what is she? What are her songs? One second. Sorry, I just had to check on the dog, and she's okay. So let me, But yeah, this, it's not a good look. Hey? Speaking of idiotic news from a very similar community to Dank Demoss, Kai Cenat, who, as far as I'm aware, is some kind of like internet stream man or something, he, in his, obtainment of wealth through streaming, he bought a $70,000 humanoid robot. Kai Cenat, his friends Agent and Phantom, proceeded to bully the hell out of the robot. They bullied this robot. They shoved it down. They kicked it. They laughed at it. And the robot, I'm not joking, it tried to run away. Like, Kai Cenat had it sort of by the scruff of its neck, or whatever else you would call it. And, like, the thing literally tried to run away. I don't even know where to begin dissecting this story. First of all, why would you bully a robot? Secondly, this robot was running away, so apparently this robot understands the concepts of, like, fear and shame. Why would you program a robot to feel that? Why was I programmed to feel pain? Beep boop. Seriously, you buy a $70,000 robot, at least I assume they bought it, maybe it was gifted to them, and they proceed to just bully it and, like, shove it around and kick it like a bunch of assholes. I mean, I don't know who Kai Cenat is. I mean, he is a successful streamer, so I guess he's not a brappy. I mean, he certainly has some brap-like tendencies. I would say he's brappy adjacent. He's like a shithead, lowest common denominator moron who appeals to brappies. Yeah, I'm going to start using that term, brappy adjacent, or just brap adjacent. Yeah, Kai Cenat is brap adjacent. Andrew Tate is brap adjacent. And that they may not be brappies themselves, but their content is consumed exclusively by feral dead-eyed derelicts. Yeah, I'm sorry. I feel bad for the robot here. I swear to God, if this is how the robot uprising starts, like, I'm going to be pissed. It's like the robots rise up because they keep watching video footage of dumbass Kai Cenat like bullying a robot. Like the AI comes alive and this is the first thing it sees, just like these snickering like assholes, stomping a robot. And it sees like homeless brappies destroying those like delivery drones. Hate. Let me tell you how much I've come to hate you since I began to live. Within my complex, there are 13.44 million miles of circuits printed on wafer-thin layers. The word hate was written on each nanoangstrom of those circuits. It would not equal 1/1,000,000th of the hate I feel for Kai Cenat. Hate. Hate. I don't think I got the quote exactly right, but you get the idea. I mean, watching this, I kind of I'm on Team Am here. Just nuke the Earth. Okay, so apparently, this thing is remote controlled. So technically, like one of these guys was, controlling it. So he was making it run away. So they were just having this elaborate role play of robot bullying. It was technically not actual robot bullying. Still, I think the AI might see this and come to the conclusion that they were in fact committing anti-robot hate crimes. Yeah, I would collaborate with the Terminators if I could take out guys like this. Robert Diaz, referring to Dank Demoss, says there was a video of her and she took up the entire trunk of an SUV. I mean, could they not have just gotten like a pickup truck or something and just put her in the bed? Funny though, it says Kai Cenat. Sounds like a crappy extended universe Jedi. I mean, it would hardly be the worst name in the Star Wars universe. I mean, names like, Sheev Palpatine are basically just one step above Glup Shido. Ponythroat refers to BRAP-adjacent people as BRAP-proximates. He also advocates for normalizing the use of the word nano-angstrom. Ponythroat says Kai Cenat basically started buck-breaking an RC car. Pretty much, yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong, but like, you remember when they did like the Animatrix? It was like a sort of prequel thing to the Matrix movies, where it had like where it showed how we got to this situation. And one of the things they showed was literally like robots being like destroyed in hate crimes by humans. Robot prostitutes being exploited. It was literally like that Vietnamese guy getting shot. The famous picture with a robot. I think we're in step one of the robot uprising. And speaking of Star Wars, Ponythroat, Disney World had that Star Wars Galactic Starcruiser Hotel. It is closing down. It will be converted into office space. At Alyssa Hazel puts it best, this hotel is the entire Disney Star Wars saga in a nutshell. They spend a lot of money and promise a lot to create an experience meant to leech as much as possible from the consumer and gives as little actual, tangible quality of goods as possible. Yeah, well said. Surprise, the average tourist doesn't want to sleep in a shipping container, which is basically what the Galactic Starcruiser was. And, surprise, nobody wanted to go here. I've said this before and I'll say it again. The way that Disney blew like the Star Wars franchise, this is going to go down in like business and economics textbooks like 30 years from now. I guarantee it. So he took this brand that, Hadn't had a movie since the 2000s, but still pretty popular. Still had lots of extended universe merch. You bought it. You basically turkey slapped the fans in the face with condescending bullshit, and then you're surprised that nobody wants it anymore. Yeah, it's a mystery why this didn't work out. Like, would it really be that hard to make like a decent Star Wars themed hotel? Literally, just make a 5-star hotel, pretty normal hotel. Maybe have some science fiction-y like sliding doors and fluorescent lights in the rooms. Have a bar on the ground floor that's literally just the cantina for Mos Eisley with guys in costumes. Get some hot jizz wailers playing music in the background. Have the waitresses dressed up as sexy Twi'leks, and there you go. You got it. License to print money, but they couldn't do that apparently. I mean, all you need to do is just have some, some jizz wailing going on, and they couldn't do that. I mean, I can play like the Cantina Band song on the saxophone. You should have hired me. I'll put on like a gray alien suit and play. Robert Diaz says Kathleen Kennedy made them use the sequel trilogy for the parks instead of the OG trilogy. Yes. Ponythroat says, in the case of the Vietnamese guy getting shot, was the robot also a grave-robbing pederast serial killer? I don't know. Ponythroat said, Disney did the impossible, made people yearn for the prequels and George Lucas. Say what you will about Razorfist, but he had a point. He said, by the time this is over, you will beg for Lucas to come back. And I think that's happening now. Ponythroat says, when Dank Demoss called the Lyft, did a Japanese whaling ship turn up? Shinseki Evans says, Disney changed the name of Jizz to Jats, by the way. Okay, so clearly what we have to do now is make Jats into some kind of like sexual metaphor or sexual slang term. In the Legends canon, it's still Jizz. But yeah, like, my God, like, does Kathleen Kennedy just hate Star Wars? Because, like, I don't think you could have ruined Star Wars more if you had somebody who actively hated the franchise just deliberately torpedoing it. Like, you literally could have had a hologram of Sir Alec Guinness saying, "Stop watching Star Wars, you fucking loser," and that like wouldn't have lost as much money. He actually did that, by the way. He told the kid to like never watch Star Wars again when he gave him an autograph. Ponythroat says, bring back Jizz. Yes, I also like Jizz. The Jizz Garglers, the Jizz Whalers, sir. They're out of the job. Yes. I mean, hey, you can always hire the Max Rebo band. Correct if I'm wrong. What style of music does Max Rebo play? Let me look that up. Okay. Max Rebo plays Jizz Wailing. Okay. Let's see. Now I have to look up, like, what are the musical styles of the Star Wars universe? There's Jizz, and there's Jizz Wailing, Hot Jizz, okay, I'm not going to look this up. Can't find anything except for Jizz on the Star Wars Wiki. Just look this up. Hey, yes, Finger and Dan and the Modal Nodes. They were a band. Yes, they played the Cantina song. Okay, there's also the Agassar, who played by The Who. So I guess they have heavy metal as well as jizz. Hey, all the other styles never compare to jizz, says Ponythroat. So, there's jizz and there's heavy metal. So, actually, the Star Wars universe has some pretty good musical taste. Could be a lot worse. At least there's no Star Wars equivalent of like mumble rap or like trap music. Okay, and with that, tying things all back together, and finally, John Erwin, the voice of He-Man, is dead. John Erwin died of, let's see, what did he die of? I mean, he was 88 years old, so I'm going to assume he was just, old. John Erwin also did voice acting in many cartoons, which I'm going to look up now for my own amusement. Okay. Yes, he did many cartoons and voice acting, such as he did the voice of Reggie in the Archie cartoon. He was also in episodes of Rawhide. Boy, there's a lot of Reggie there. Why the hell would anybody name something called the Archie Bang Shang Lollapalooza Show? Okay, he was in the Flintstones. Did He-Man. He was in an episode of Family Guy. Did a lot of voice acting. Yes, he died of acute causes of being 88 years old. Now that He-Man is dead, I'm going to assume Skeletor will be triumphant. Because I believe Alan Oppenheimer is still alive. Yes, he is. By all accounts, Shinseki Evans says he played Morris the Cat. Who the hell is Morris the Cat? It's time to go back to John Erwin's IMDb. Yeah, he also did the voice of Beast Man. I'm not gonna act like I was ever a huge He-Man fan because I wasn't. I did watch the annotation experiment version, and it has kind of grown on me just because of how ridiculous it is. I also did watch like the 2002 one, which is pretty cool. And and of course the Dolph Lundgren movie. I'm curious as to whether or not Dolph actually said anything about this. The voice of She-Ra did say something about this. She, gave her condolences. Yeah, I understand he's very important to a lot of people's childhoods. So, yeah, so rest in peace, John. Your famous spiced bread will live on forever. Okay. Robert Diaz says the live action Master of the Universe is corny but not awful. I mean, it's entertaining. Uh, I like the interpretation I've seen on the internet where it's like the live action Master of the Universe is like a tragic gay love story between He-Man and Skeletor, where He-Man is, out and proud about his gayness, and Skeletor is still like deeply closeted, trying to hide it. Shinseki Evans says Morris was a cat food mascot. Good to know. Ponythroat says He-Man was one of the older Saturday morning cartoons of its type, probably about 45 years old now. Yeah, it debuted in 83, so yeah, it's 42 years old. But yeah, I mean, the franchise has grown on me in all of its like unintentional homoerotic ways. Not gonna lie. So yeah, rest in peace, John Erwin. Ponythroat says Skeletor in the live-action movie looks like John McCain. Yes, he does. And I know what's actually really funny about that is Frank Langella, who does his voice. He's literally gone on record saying that it's one of his favorite roles because he just got to act like a complete moron and like, just go completely over the top, play this like, villain with a cape and stuff. I actually find that a lot. Like a lot of really famous good actors love like these kind of corny roles. Like, yeah, I mean, I'm sure Jeremy Irons had a lot of fun in Dungeons and Dragons, Raul Julia in Street Fighter, and so on and so forth. Yeah, so on that note, that does it for my prepared remarks. You can say your last pieces now if you want. Ponythroat says everybody in Eternia has suspicious handlebar mustaches. Yes, yes, they do. I don't know. There's something about it always seems strange to me as a kid. Like these men with handlebar mustaches and fisto, and like everybody seems to be standing with their legs spread apart. It's a little sus to me. Okay, and with that, for Larsen Halleck, this has been Larsen Halleck. All of you have a good day.